This is Just AMZN on Wednesday, January 8th, 2020. And we totally recovered from the sell-off that I was talking about from after hours yesterday. Totally recovered. Actually had a nice push higher. Just keep opening up and running. And we did that and ran really up into resistances from yesterday. Rolled back down, put an amazing hammer. We'll come back to this. Bounced again, ran right back up to that high. And then rolled over inside candle, broke down, and came right back into 1900. It seems like 1900 was a magnet yesterday before it popped, and then today it was acting as a magnet. I mean, we just kind of bounced off of it, went through it, came back to it, went up, came back. Well, we did get a consolidation, and I think, and I didn't go back and listen to what I talked through yesterday, but I think I said something about having a consolidation and something different happening than breaking out, and it did. It actually went bearish today. While this was happening, it's like something doesn't look right. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I talked about that. I said maybe it won't go bullish. Well, it went bearish. That broke down a little bit. I thought it was going to continue lower. Looks like this was a little bit of a trap. Took out the lows and then got bought back up. Took out some highs and then got sold back down. So it was, I think the afternoon was trapping, was definitely a trapping day. People being used to this kind of consolidation, looking to get in bullish. Nope, it went bearish. And then right when you thought, okay, it's taken out a low, it's going to go lower. Nope, it reverses. Really nice reversal up here at a pivot, and then a really nice reversal here. Didn't really have as strong of a pivot that it was reversing from, but still kind of this range from where we had consolidated here and then broke down. I mean, it's kind of a good range to sell off from. I mean, this is where if you weren't getting in, let me say it again, let me say it differently. If you were looking to get in bearish here, but wanted to creep up a little bit higher, that was this. That was, setting your entry a little bit above where everybody else was shorting right here. And you waited and you got in at probably the best point to get in and go bearish right here, where it sold off nicely into the close. So we can look at some of the options. Going bullish, definitely going bullish from this hammer. Going bearish from, a pivot here and a pivot here and this one here. Even the consolidation here, we can just look at some of these different places. So first, let's look at that hammer. I'm way out of the 1925 calls still, just kind of using that as a reference point, seeing how the options have moved the last few days. And whoa, that jumped. Okay, that's the hammer right there. Look how small this is. It's huge because it's way down at 1890. So it's $35 out of the money looking at the 1925 call. But it really set up nicely 4x3, give you plenty of wiggle room, and still ran up. It made a high that was similar to the high on the stock, but nowhere near it on the option. But still, you could have gotten in 4x3 and gotten out at 6 for 2R, even 7. That would have been a nice move, 1925. If we come in closer, let's see, is it going to cooperate? There we go. 1900 call. Where did this pull back to? This pulled back nicely too. That put in a little bit of a wider hammer. But one thing I really like here, it put in this hammer, which was $1.30 range. Then it put in this lower wick inside of the 10x9. I really like that it came back into 10x9. And then that, catapulted higher. Again, not coming back up to the high from the open, but still, if you got in 10x9 off of this wick, great. That was a really nice move up. You probably could have easily gotten out like at 16. The next point that it kind of consolidated here. It almost made it there within like 40 minutes or so. And then, this consolidation, well, this is a little more expensive here now. This consolidation, not going bullish, obviously it went bearish. And then where we took out the low, you can see we're taking out the low here, taking out the low here, broke down. That was just another place to buy, and it moved back up. If we take a look over now at the 1875 put, again, a little bit on the money just to show the value of these. I don't like the volume here, but I mean, it was still really cheap to be buying it. This was that first peak. This is the second peak, and it got a little pop, but I mean, you would have been buying around 250 and getting out at like 350, just like a scalp of an R. You can do that with this kind of a strike. Um, you had a really nice move if you got in from that open high and then held into that hammer. You can see the hammer's huge on the put. And then into the close, you had another opportunity to buy, not quite as low as 2, but really close, like still getting in like 250 by 150. And that had a nice move into the close because we closed around, was it 1890, 1892? What was the close? It was 1891.97. Yeah, 1892. Okay, so that was a nice move into the close. Still, with 1875 strike. If we go back to 1900 puts, we can see, okay, we came down, put in a low on this put right early on in the morning, right at $10. So 10 by 9 maybe would have been filled and hopefully not stopped you out at 9. And that moved up to that hammer. You're getting out on that hammer. I mean, if you're not already out on that hammer, you're getting out on the next candle. You're in at 10 and you're out at 18 then, when it pulls back to this. But hopefully you got out at like 21 or almost 22. Nice high wave candle here. This was about $1 inside candle. This was less than $1. This was only $38. That's nice. It's a nice candle. Okay, then it rolled over and pushed. So the stock pushed down, but the option pushed up here. So it went from 9 by 8, you're in, and you're getting out at the next kind of consolidation here around like 13, or maybe you're just taking 2R. So you're in at 9, you're out at 11. This is where it consolidated right around $10. You could have literally just been buying this off of what I said yesterday. Not always recommend it, but that's your own choice. Getting in at 10 and just getting out at 12. And you got that move in 10 minutes, or if you got in over here or a little bit, let it consolidate for like half an hour. I was waiting till noon and then it didn't happen at noon. But I was watching for something after and it's like, oh, I think it's doing it now. Let's see, it was coming into noon. It's like, is that it? Is that the consolidation? No, it's been a lot longer than that. Oh, here it is. Yep. This is it. This is the consolidation. It's like, okay, I like this. This is consolidating, but something doesn't feel right here. That you got some bullishness, but it's not really popping. You got some hammers here. We really need to get a move above like 1905, and then the bearish candle, and then another bearish candle inside. It's like, I think this might go lower, and then it did. And how quickly that went lower, it was done. It just made that quick move down. And then if you look at that back on the option, that was this. That was the move from 10 up to 12. Pretty quick. That was it. And then, like I said, the other place to be selling or to be buying puts was towards the end of the day, where the stock moved above this area. So the put moved lower. Obviously, it got below 10, but it came right into $9. Maybe you could have been buying at 9, or maybe you wait and you do a stop limit at 10 and a stop at 9, and you got in 10 by 9, just like you got in here 10 by 9. But this one you're going to hold on to because, you could still get out at 12, but it's setting up to roll over into the close, and that's really what it did, or it sets up with that potential. But then it had a nice move up to 17. Probably still would have been taking profits at like 13, or staring at the thing in the last 10 minutes, be like, okay, I can just hit sell and get out, and okay, it's at 16. Do I hold for another 5 minutes? It's like, no, I'm out at 16. That's the kind of thing. It's like, it starts to get in your nerves. I could just give this all back. I don't want to give this back, especially it's like, oh, it's all the way up at 16.50. Now it's down at 16. I just give back $50. Get out. It's that kind of thing. If you're emotionally responding to how this is moving, but if you're practicing it, and if you're using trading real money and getting familiar with how your own emotions are as it's moving for you or against you down here, it's coming right into the support area. This is a nice big this is a nice big candle here, a nice Marbuzi-like candle. Let's see, shape bottom, open and low. No, not quite, by like 11 cents. It's not a shape bottom, but we came right back into that price on this candle. That's a nice target to have there. And then we're into some hammers here. It's like, I don't want to look for more of a sell-off when we're getting right into some hammers. Just get out right here, and you're out. Or get out as it's moving down here. Maybe get out at 15, if not 16. And, it's just a matter of knowing how you're going to respond in that moment and have a plan to address that. If you're okay with giving some back and holding into the last 2 minutes or last 3 minutes, especially on a Friday, don't hold into the last minute. Even, not just Friday, but if you're trading something that expires, that same day, whatever that day is, if it's not a Friday, for Amazon, obviously on a Friday, know how you're going to interact with the market and know that you have a constant connection with your broker to be getting out of something like this, or just set it and get out where you're going to get out. Like if it's way up here, just send your limit order in at like 15 and hope for a good fill, or know that you're going to give back something, but you're going to get out of that trade. That's why I'm saying don't wait to the last few minutes, because if your internet goes out or something, these are things that we don't think about until it's in the moment and it's happening and you're frantic. But it helps to just be better at trading. So anyway, there's some bullish trades, some bearish trades. Today was really a choppy day. You take a step back and it's like, okay, from this point, we made a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, kind of curving lower here. And then we also made, a really low. I mean, this low where we got to really took out or came right down to the same level down in here in the 1850s that we had pre-market from Monday. And then, higher low, higher low. So overall, this looks like a consolidation. I mean, this doesn't do any justice to the consolidation, but, if you kind of take a step back in this view, we could come all the way back down here into, 1863, 84. We could come back into the 1850s. This could be a kind of a high range consolidation. This could be, the full range of it. And we're just dipping down, dip down, dip down, dip down. We could do another dip down. We could definitely get back into this range. And then I still think that's viable. The other thing I kind of noticed is if this is lower highs, and if you ignore this, you actually have a lower low from here to here. And if you switch over to the daily and look at that, this is a really small flag or just 2 candle stair step. And we've done those in this range before. We've done those here. Like really these 2 candles, it's really the same range. High wave candle, bearish candle. And then we gapped up the next day and we ran almost all-time highs. We could do this same thing in the next couple of days here. We could gap up and get into 1925 and then continue. We've done a lot of high wave candles up here, so it's not a matter of what's it going to look like. We've done it. We can see something that we've done before. How's it going to play out this time? I don't know. I don't know. Anybody knows. But we can just set up the trade that presents itself. So if it gaps up tomorrow, clears these highs, I think it could really run. If it opens up right in the same range, I think it's going to chop around a little bit more. Look for another consolidation like we've had, afternoon or right around noon time, and look for that to break out. And if it breaks out bullish, take it bullish. If it breaks down bearish, take it aggressively bearish and then get out, because it's not moving very bearish. It's mostly moving bullish. And then if somehow we come back down into this range, I mean, we've got X marks the spot here for tomorrow, the 9th, or 10th, no, the 9th. There you go. X marks the spot down here at 1863.84, right? That was the price. So it could come all the way back down there. It'd be great if it does. It would look like kind of this candle where we, went up and then kind of came back here, and then we continued to go higher later. But we're still, we're still consolidating up here, which is totally fine because we've got, pivots that we've cleared, and we haven't really, we've retested, but we'll see how much more we can retest. We don't have to. We've already consolidated enough. We've gapped down a bunch. We've, shown we're going bullish. I think it's just a matter of time before we really catapult higher. But we'll have to see. This is the first time we actually had a little bit lower volume. The prior 4 days were really steady in the volume. This was only a little bit of a dip in volume, and the first bearish candle a little bit. So we'll see if we have any more consolidation here, and then continue moving. But that's what we're looking for. So hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.